Hey dudes and dudettes, thanks for tuning into this episode of the Be Kind and Rewind podcast. A podcast chock full of everything that is nostalgic about the 80s, 90s, and more. This episode, we're continuing the Halloween theme with a special Halloween Mailbag, an episode where listeners sent in their best and worst Halloween stories and questions with some random ramblings from myself. So just kind of jumping right into it, Halloween is just around the corner, and I've said it before. It just kicks off the holiday season, and also just kind of the candy wrappers are basically going to be a constant reminder that your waistline has no chance in the upcoming months with Thanksgiving and the Christmas foods, and of course the underrated weather depression. But thankfully, usually around Halloween, it's always hit and miss. Either there's something big going on, or there's nothing's going on. It's kind of like New Year's. It's hit and miss. There's no in between. But luckily, the last few years I've been able to make it back to St. Louis to see my niece and nephews. Last couple years, my wife and we dressed up as Martha and Penny Pester from Ladybugs, the classic 90s Rodney Dangerfield and Jonathan Brandis, rest in peace.
The Ladybugs are losers, Chester, 'cause you're a loser.
What a lady. Boy, when she walks in a room, mice jump on chairs. At Christmas, they hang her and kiss the mistletoe.
It did not go over so well. Of course, you've heard this from me multiple times regarding my previous Halloween costumes, where they're pretty much a miss unless I'm going to something I bought from the store. So, of course, Ladybugs, like if you're not familiar, this movie is based around soccer. Rodney Dangerfield somehow becomes the coach, and in order for them to win the championship, for him to get a promotion at work, he needs to win the championship. But in order for this to happen, he dresses Jonathan Brandis, a boy, as a girl and brings him on the soccer team. And of course, there's an array of characters on the soccer team, and Penny Pester was one other character. So my wife, she threw on the rec specs and the big bow, and we rocked it out. But of course, this is soccer, so we have some short Umbros on and our jerseys, and I'm wearing a wig. And it was great in concept, but the execution and then walking around in St. Louis October weather, probably down in the 30s and 40s, so it didn't go over so well. And of course, we would walk around with my niece and nephews. Who another thing that kind of was new to me was, I guess, kids in St. Louis, and I'm sure other places, you tell a joke when you get to the door. Instead of just trick or treat, give me some candy to eat, it is ring ring, here's a joke, haha, candy. And I'd never heard the concept, but I watched my niece and nephews, and it was interesting. But of course, I'd go up there and I'd just be getting a weird look from people. I'd be standing on the sidewalk from 20 feet from their doorstep, and I could just see the glare, looking through the darkness. What the hell's out there? And I'd be like, yeah, you see ladybugs? No, I haven't. Okay, well, thanks, and moving on. So it didn't go over very well, but this year we're going back, and I think it's going to be a little bit better because I'm going as Chewbacca. And this is a Chewbacca onesie that I saw at Target. Oh, it looks so comfy. I already tried it on. It's got my name all over it. I'm going to go get his little bowcaster gun. I'm going to have, this is going to be the ultimate warmth, and I'm going to have the hoodie up. So I'm going full Chewbacca this year with my niece and nephew. So they're fans of Star Wars, or at least they're going to be one way or another. So that's my my precautionary wintry weather Halloween costume, because I've already learned my lesson. I'm trying to get fancy and cute. It didn't go over well. And it was the wrong demographic. I don't know what the hell we were thinking. So that's my plans for this Halloween. Of course, it's coming right up. We got a couple more episodes between now and then, but that's the plans for me. For anyone who is interested, I'm not sure very many of you were, but that's just what's going on. But in the meantime, something my wife and I just started doing this year is doing a Halloween movie marathon. Of course, everybody does their own type of marathon, Halloween, horror, family fun type movies. So we kind of doing a mixture, but we're starting off light. But the movies we've watched so far, we've watched The Witches, Sleepy Hollow, and Halloween Town. And I she introduced me to Halloween Town. I had never seen it. I introduced her to Witches, and we both, watched Sleepy Hollow for the first time. So it was a nice mixture of things for us to introduce each other to. And The Witches, for those who are not familiar with The Witches, is an old school movie, 1990. Angelica Houston, the actress who played Morticia Adams from the Adams Family, she plays the grand head witch in this movie.
You dare to argue with me?
No, no, honestly, it just was a...
A stupid witch who answers back must burn until her bones are black.
No, no.
A foolish witch without a brain must sizzle in the fiery flame. A bitch who dares to say I'm wrong will not be with us very long.
And it is borderline terrifying. Actually, it is terrifying as a kid, and it threw me off a little bit watching it just the other day. Jim Henson's company was part of this, so they had a big part of the makeup, the animatronics, because there's a lot of like puppeteering and animatronics in this movie, and a lot of like body horror with kids like turning into mice, and you see the full on transition, and like you see like a kid with basically like American Werewolf in London, with the transition from the guy from the man to a werewolf. It's like that. It's kind of gruesome, and you feel bad for the kids, but this is a PG movie. This is a movie made for kids basically, and it was one of those, like I said, I had watched lots of parts of it. I'd never watched it all the way through, so I didn't really consider the plot that much, but this time I finally figured out what was going on, and it's more of an engaging and interesting movie than I remembered. So for those of you who have not seen The Witches, I suggest that to add that to your lineup for any Halloween marathons. The other one we watched and talked about was Sleepy Hollow.
The horseman was a Hessian mercenary, sent to these shores by German princes to keep Americans under the yoke of England. But unlike his compatriots, who came for money, the horseman came for love of carnage.
It is another one that I've seen a lot of parts of, but I've never really sat down and watched the entire thing. And it actually it held up for me. I liked it a lot. But the only thing that stood out to me is that how this movie is part of a family lineup of movie marathons like on ABC Family, and all those types of channels that do their Harry Potters and their Home Alones or whatever they do. Nightmare Before Christmas. Not Home Alone's. Home Alone's Christmas, but Nightmare Before Christmas type movies. And then Halloween's Sleepy Hollow's in there. Of course, it's a Tim Burton movie, so I understand it's a given. It should fall in that lineup. But with all the beheadings, and it's not too gory, but there's probably at least 8 to 10 beheadings with the axe, and this is like some pretty accurate, winding up, it's kind of like Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, beheadings. Like he wanted it in there to get his PG-13, and I don't know, for this movie, I don't know. It's just I guess I'm just getting old. That's the true sign when that's what I'm thinking of while I'm watching this movie. So but the movie held up. Johnny Depp was great. I liked him. Young Johnny Depp. I think this is pre Pirates of the Caribbean, pre Jack Sparrow. So he was still giving a shit, and he looked great. And then Christina Ricci. I was telling my wife, we're gonna watch probably at least 8 to 10 movies, and I'm pretty sure Christina Ricci is going to be in about half of those, because she has that like gothic look. Adam's Family. She's in Casper. She's in this movie. She's in a couple more movies we'll watch, and she just, she has that look, and she's a great actress. And I'm glad that she's still, she's getting lots of work, but she just had that. She fell into that category for a while, which it's fine with me. She's a great actress, and I enjoyed watching her in this movie. Young Christina Ricci. This is just a couple years after she played Wednesday Addams in Addams Family. And then the Headless Horseman, played by Christopher Walken. He actually, I had seen so many parts of the movie, but none of it involved him. So I didn't even know he was part of the movie until this last viewing. So, and he didn't say a word. There was no Christopher Walken-ism kind of thing going on. He's like, "Oh, I'm not even gonna do it," but there was nothing like that, and so it was enjoyable because it was before Christopher Walken knew he was Christopher Walken, and he was just Christopher Walken in every role after that. But it was great to see him do this, and the action, with the axe, the Headless Horseman with the axes. That I really enjoyed, like how fluid and like crisp the moves were. I don't know, something about it. So yeah, I definitely enjoy Sleepy Hollow. So I'm sure a lot of people already do. So that's another one that will be added. And then the last one that we watched was Halloween Town.
Like liver, dear? Mother?
Grandma!
In here. Oh, so wonderful to see you with the children again. Oh, my. How you've grown. Oh.
Did you bring us presents?
So
This is a movie that I had never seen, not even clips. Like, it just was like out of sight, out of mind for me. I think I was just I think I was maybe in high school, just in high school or late middle school when this came out, and it just slipped through the cracks. But it seems to just hit. It's real nostalgic for a lot of other people, and so my wife and I watched it this last week, and I I loved it. And the crazy thing is the amount of actors you just kind of are sprinkled in there. Like the mom is April O'Neil from the Ninja Turtles. That was like the first thing I realized when I saw her. I was like, whoa, who is that? I know who that is. Some simple IMDb action. I was like, of course, April O'Neil. And then the grandma comes on. It's the great Debbie Reynolds, singing in the rain. And, of course, Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia's mother. And, man, rest in peace, both of them. Can't wait to see Carrie Fisher in the upcoming Star Wars. But, I don't know. I just never thought from seeing the poster of this movie what the plot would actually be. But it's got that 90s tinge all over it, with the costumes and the vibe and just the plot, the nonsense of the plot itself, having to she's training, the grandma's training her granddaughter to become a witch they don't know. And it's actually enjoyable. Like, I enjoyed how the plot unfolded. It wasn't too boring, wasn't too slow. So I can see why people are nostalgic about it. So Halloween Town, I love it. I'm gonna keep watching it, and it's gonna be part of the repertoire as well. So those are just some of the movies we started out watching. We're gonna continue watching others. So let me know which ones you're watching. Give me your lineup. What's your next? We only got a couple weeks left, so what's your lineup of Halloween movies? But moving on, we got a new sponsor for this week. For the PoopCulture Extended Universe. Our sponsor this week is Dick at Your Door. So, are you that one friend in your group that everyone hesitates to text for public outings? Do you still utilize the nut punch while someone takes a drink? Well, you're a dick. But wait, there's still a chance for you to maintain your dick lifestyle publicly and anonymously with Dick at Your Door mail order pranks, gag gifts, and novelties. Go to dickatyourdoor.com to choose from chocolate dicks, farts in a jar, Trump hair odor candles, and custom handwritten notes. Once you've chosen to send publicly or anonymously, your order will be shipped within 1 to 3 business days with tracking. So use the promo code PCEU for free shipping. So finally, bask in the satisfaction when your target is confused and angry. So again, use the promo code PCEU for free shipping. Alright, so now we're moving on to some of the other things we talked about, some mailbag, and we had some good Twitter Halloween shoutouts, story shoutouts for this episode. I basically just tweeted out for those who tell me about your best and worst memories of Halloween, because of course Halloween is a magical time, but not every year is gonna be great. Some years are better than others. Some years, are the most epic ones. You think it's gonna be like that every year, and the other years are just like, I think I should just give up. I think it's over. For me, starting out in fourth grade, I jumped over a creek in between neighborhoods, and then I fell backwards and lost my bag in the water, and I just watched it float away, and I was just like, "Yep, this sucks. This pretty much is the worst thing that can happen." It was basically the end of the night too. It wasn't like just start of the night. I was probably 80% done. So that was probably the worst situation for me. I shouldn't have veered off the path. That was my own fault. That's when you gotta stick with the pack. Don't go veering off. Don't go Indiana Jonesing off to the side. That's basically what I did, and I lost probably good 4 pounds worth of candy. So I still regret it to this day. And thanks for bringing it up. Next person is Movie Babies at Movie Babies, and they say they dressed up as Prince and randomly found Prince's motorcycle from Purple Rain parked in front of a bar.
Assemble your crew. I'll be outside. Why don't you purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka? Good.
Unless you jumped on it and took off yourself, I don't know what to say. Or at least got on it and sang Purple Rain, because there's multiple situations. Recreate the cover of Purple Rain. You just got to get some purple smoke coming out behind you, a little bit of the fluorescent light, so you give it a little bit of smoke aura, and then you got to play some Purple Rain and give it that look. Or you just make some pancakes and get the jump shot going. I don't know, but I think anytime anybody dresses up as Prince is a winner in my book. So even with Purple Rain, you gotta take advantage of those situations. So that is a one in a lifetime. That's a too odd of a coincidence to show up and have the Purple Rain motorcycle there. I think it was destiny. You should have rode off on the motorcycle. So Movie Babies, I think you need to dress up as Prince again. Go back to that same bar, and if it's there, it's destiny. Next person, we got Alexa at You Can Rewind It podcast. And she said she spent the night with a friend, and her mom threw out half of our candy because it was quote unquote suspicious. But did she really throw it out or eat it? I think we already all know the answer to that. And as we got older, and as kids, we were always scared of being like the old legend of the what was it, the razor and the apple? Yeah, that was the story to scare all the kids. And moms ran with that one for sure for a while, and so they would use that to be like, oh yeah, that Reese's looks like I think I see a blade out of it. Let's just grab a couple of those. And oh yeah, the Snickers definitely. Those are the sizes of razors definitely. So you just get all these weird excuses as to why 3/4 of your candy needs to be confiscated, and you're left with candy corn and the sixlets. Yeah, I mean, I'll eat the sixlets, but I'm not gonna say I love them. But yeah, and then as we get older, and I don't have kids, but I'm gonna go walk around my niece and nephews and be like, yeah. I think that one's regulated in certain states, so I'm gonna have to grab that one. Or actually, you know what? I saw something the other day about Nickelodeon is now selling, and they know what's up. They're selling the Rugrats Reptar bars. So it was from the Halloween episode. If you don't remember, basically the plot of the episode was they were trying to obtain the Reptar bar so they could chomp into it and get that green tongue. And that's what this real one does, I guess. I guess you get real, you chomp in it, you get your tongue gets green, and $69. Is it worth it? I don't know. Yes. No, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I can find you can find single doubles for like $10 a piece and go that route. You're gonna be paying that super inflation, but I don't know if you want to be known or see that on your account, $70 for Reptar bars. Not something you thought you'd see in your Wells Fargo history. So I don't know. I'd go for it, but I think as we get older, we just have to know that parents were probably 10% cautious, 90% just want to eat the shit out of our candy. Either they're drunk or high. We had no idea. Maybe that's why they had so many incense. Who knows? All right. Well, Alexa, thank you. Next person is we got Ashley from at 8 Small Town Girl 8, and she says when Corning one Halloween when I was a teenager, we got chased by a drunk guy and he almost killed me and my friends. Whoa. Now, Corning. Let's dive into that first. To my knowledge, Corning is walking around a cornfield that may be like a corn, like a corn maze. From what I understand, that's what it is. And so that's something big in the Midwest. Something I grew up in Kansas, so I know somewhat about fields, even though I spent little to no time in them. But that's something pretty dangerous. Once you get out there, there's no barriers. You're out in the open. You're basically in an open field, even though maybe corn is surrounding you. That's a pretty thin wall that can be easily ran over, especially with the truck. So that's like out of a horror movie. So that's crazy. So actually, glad you made it out of there, but hopefully you never have to relive an actual horror movie again like that. Hopefully the rest of your Halloweens are chipper and enjoyable and full of candy. So yeah, let's stay away from Corning. I think that's rule number one. Stay away from Corning. This next person is we got Canned Air Podcast at Canned Air Pod. They said, I made my own Dracula costume when I was 7. Never been so proud until my mom forced me to wear a coat. It wasn't that cold, Ma. I talked about this in the last podcast. It's the ultimate crushing of dreams during Halloween. It's because Halloween is so close. It's in the middle to end of fall. So of course, and it's at night, so it's going to be cold. So why would you expect us to dress in these awesome, maybe thin to small, outfits and not think about the weather? Why can't we have Halloween in like June? And so we can basically go all out with your outfit. Now, I mean, you might sweat, but you don't have to worry about putting a coat on. And that's just like something every kid had to deal with. You could be the Power Ranger, you could be a ninja, you could be a football. I guess a football player would work, but if any one of those, and you throw on a big old starter jacket on top of it, it just kind of takes away from it from a kid's point of view. You're like, yeah, I'm trying to roll around, do ninja stuff, but I can't because my damn hands keep getting stuck in my starter jacket pockets every time. So thanks, Mom. And Mom's looking out, but she's got to understand, we'll sacrifice a cold. We'll take a flu. We'll take 2 days out of school to make sure that our costumes hit right. They got to look right. So I can feel your pain. I feel your pain because I've had to endure that a few times with great costumes comes heavy coats into wintertime. So yeah, that's something this is always going to happen. So I guess you're going to have to start planning your costumes to incorporate heavy coats. So maybe you're going to be the plow guy. You can be Homer Simpson's plow king. He's already got the heavy coat right there. You're boom. Solved it for you. So last one we got here is we got I Write Monsters at I Write Monsters, and she says, or they say, in high school I was proud of my Neil Gaiman's Sandman costume. Everyone thought I was Dracula, which was not on the whole too bad. Yeah, I can see the where the the mix up can be, but someone can, I guess, if they at least thought your costume was awesome enough to be like Dracula, you at least take that as a good secondary, because Neil Gaiman, it's not a bad Sandman. It's not a bad, try, but like I've said, if you get too specific sometimes, yeah, you just throw everybody off. You got to go super general. You got to go as like a, carton of milk. For people to be like, oh yeah, I get it. You don't, but whatever. So you got to be pretty obvious, unless you're going to like a house party with like your friends, and like these are your friends who's gonna get your inside jokes, gonna get all your references, who is gonna get your personality and your humors. Because if you just start going to random parties, going to office parties, going to just big ass parties as these super niche costumes, it's tough, and you're gonna get those people are gonna point you out like, oh, that's awesome, but then you're just gonna be spending half the night explaining who you are, or telling people, "No, I'm not that. No, I'm not that. I'm actually this." But I mean, to each his own. And like I said, I've tried it a few times. I'm speaking from experience. This is like therapy. I'm speaking from experience. So that's just that's just all I gotta say about him. Sorry, but when it comes to the Dracula comparison, you gotta take that. I wonder if you took on the role and it's like, you know what, fuck it, I am Dracula. I'm Dracula for today. Let's do this. So, well, that was the last one. Thanks everybody for the Twitter Halloween shout out. We got one last ad for the T Public store. Do you still wear that one shirt from high school that has holes so thin that you can see your nipple? Or that one shirt that you keep saying that you'll eventually fit in that sits in the back of the closet? Trust me, I know, because I had many of those shirts. So I went to tpublic.com, where you can purchase custom designed t-shirts and merchandise from any and all entertainment genres. So go to tpublic.com and search for the Be Kind and Rewind storefront for cross-themed movie and TV t-shirts. For example, you can find a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle millennial design with the Game of Thrones Night's Watch and Pink Floyd The Wall mashup, along with the Power Ranger Prince Purple Ranger design, with many others more to come. I try to get them out every week. It doesn't happen every week, but it happens enough that there's more than a few designs for you can check them out. So go to tpublic.com and check that out. Well, that was pretty much everything I wanted to go over. I just wanted to give everybody another Halloween themed mailbag. We had everybody, writing in, telling me about their best and worst Halloween situation. Thanks everybody for sending that in, and I think this is probably one of the first years I've gotten really into Halloween for a while. Usually I'll try to dress up. It's usually last minute. You think of things, and we don't really watch too many movies. We'll maybe watch part of like one movie on TV, but this year, we're really jumping really headfirst into it. We're watching more movies. We've already planned out like multiple costumes. We're gonna be, we already know, we already got part of our Halloween decorations out, which never happens. So the spirit, I wouldn't say it's full spirit yet. I got some time. To work up to it, but yeah. So we got a couple more episodes in the month of October. So we got a couple more themes. I think we're going to be doing a Snick themed Halloween coming up, so stay tuned for that. Well, thanks everybody for tuning into this episode of the Be Kind and Rewind podcast. Please subscribe, like, follow, and rate the podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spreaker, and YouTube. And don't forget to find the podcast on PoopCulture Network website at poopculture.com, along with other podcasts. So thanks, and be excellent to each other.